Hey guys, Andrew Roller at Dirt Rider Magazine. I'm here with two of our test riders, Michael Wicker and Steve Boniface, summing up our 2018 250F MX Shootout. Coming in 6th place was the Suzuki RM-Z250. Our testing staff felt that the engine was fairly mellow, the fork was pretty harsh, and the chassis was a trade-off between excellent cornering ability, but not the greatest straight line stability. With no changes made to the engine for 2018, it felt very similar to last year.
The power delivery on the Suzuki is very smooth. I feel like the bike is best at the bottom and mid of the power, while the top is little flat. I did feel also that I had to use the clutch a little more than on the other 250 to keep the bike actually like where the power is the best for the engine, which is again bottom and mid.
I feel overall the Suzuki was very mellow on power. I feel it's really slow revving and a lot of shifting is required, especially at places like Glen Helen with all the steep hills or the low-me sections. It's mellow, but it's controllable power.
I totally agree with you guys. The engine definitely leaves a lot to be desired. It seems to require a lot of shifting with its decent bottom end and mid-range, definitely lacking a lot on the top end and over rev as well. In the suspension department, the RM-Z250 comes with a KYB PSF2 air fork and shock. And overall, it was the air fork that held this bike back in the suspension department.
For me, the fork felt really harsh. It took a while to find a setting I was comfortable with. Like, it's not the worst, it's a little more plush than some of the other air forks I've tried, but I feel it's still really complicated to set up.
For me, the fork was a little stiff initial part of the stroke, especially at high speed. Moving on to the shock was more progressive, a little stiff as well. Overall, I would say little stiff for maybe lighter weight rider and lacking a little bit of progressivity on the suspension.
I think you guys summed it up pretty well. The fork, for me, felt really harsh, especially in the smaller, choppy bumps. It felt a little bit better on bigger landings, bigger impacts, but overall, I wasn't too pleased with the fork, even with the adjustments we made. Moving on to the handling department, the Suzuki lived up to its name of being an excellent cornering machine. However, that did come at a bit of a cost with straight line stability.
Yes, I could see that right away when I jumped on the bike. Cornering was amazing. It felt like the bike is made for tight, small, roady corners. If you want to have fun and drag the bar in corners, it might be the bike for you.
I agree. I feel the cornering, the Suzuki was really good and really stable going through corners. It felt really agile in the ruts. Even with the suspension set up to where I wanted it, you know, I felt like it didn't feel right in the really rough chop.
I totally agree with both of you guys. The bike corners excellently. It's extremely easy to lean into a corner. Ergonomically, the one thing I do wish was different on this bike was the front brake. It's definitely lacking some power.
The seat is comfortable, the bike is really thin. It was a fun time every time I jumped on a bike.
I feel the same way as far as the seat goes. I really enjoyed the seat shape. I was able to move different positions on the bike. In corners, I like to be really up front. And the braking as well, I thought were really good.
So that wraps it up for the Suzuki RM-Z250, finishing in 6th place. Check back to dirtrider.com to see how the rest of the bikes finish in our 2018 250F MX Shootout.